2, so I will call the work session of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia, Monday, November 10th, 2025 to order. Got a big day here today. 3 new council members about to be installed tonight, so we're excited about that. I do want to go ahead and announce, and we'll announce it as well at the regular meeting. We've got some sad news for anyone who hasn't heard, that Melvin Everson had a stroke last night, and they did surgery, and he's in the ICU, and we're planning to keep him in a coma for about 2 days before they start waking him up to see how he is after that. So if you all can lift him and Jerry, his wife, and their son and family in your prayers, that would be appreciated. Okay, so we're going to start with typical for our newbies. Here we go through the regular business meeting first. So if you'll flip to that agenda. Tonight we have Reverend Quincy Brown with the Snellville Community Church giving the invocation. Pledge, Chief, would you mind?
Sure.
Under ceremonial matters, so the way the meeting will work is what we've done probably since I've been on council is the outgoing members will take their places at the dais for the calling the meeting to order and the invocation, and then they'll step down, and then we'll swear in the new council members, and you'll come up and take a seat on the dais. Okay? So we'll start with CJ, and then Rochelle, and then Pat. Then we have one other proclamation tonight for American Music Month that was requested by Deborah Hughes with the National Federation of Music Clubs. So we'll present that proclamation to her. We'll have the minutes of the October 13th and 27th meeting and work session to approve. No invited guests or committee or department reports. So then, for those of you new, I don't think we talked about this when we went over it, that we approved the agenda at that point. So this is the point that we will either, somebody will make a motion to accept it as it's been published, or we'll make amendments if we need to, if we had to add or take anything off. So we'll just need a motion to approve the agenda. Nothing under public hearing or consent or old business tonight. So under new business, we have the ratification of the November 4th election results. So I will read off the results of the election. Melissa let me know there was one provisional ballot that was cast in the election. We had to wait, or Melissa has to wait to certify the election until Gwinnett County reviews that provisional ballot and lets us know whether it can be accepted or not. It was not accepted, and so the vote tally does not change. And of course, one vote wasn't going to make a difference in any of the races. So these will be the official results. Melissa, do you want to explain the difference between the ratification that we do with council and your certification of the results?
Yeah, the election superintendent is the one who legally certifies the election results, and I did that this morning once I got the answer on the provisional ballot. So tonight, the ratification is just basically recognizing and reading the actual results of the election into the record. So it was certified this morning.
Then we have item B. We have the election on the mayor pro tem. This is something that's generally done every January. We put this on the first meeting in January election. It's decided among the council members to elect a mayor pro tem to stand in my stead if something happens to me or if I'm not here. So I've asked you all to support Norman for this coming year, since he's been here and he's been available and is able to attend to things. So just ask for that support. Generally, this is something that comes from the council, not from the mayor. It's not my nomination. but I'm just asking for that this go round. And then each year when it comes up, all of you can decide whether you want to leave Norman or if somebody else wants to take a turn. Sometimes it rotates and sometimes we wind up with one that everybody just hangs with for a while. Okay. Then we have just one other item of business, and that's just to surplus some police radios. We've got some old Motorola radios that'll be surplus, and then those will go out for sale on the government agency website. Okay. Any questions on the regular meeting? Then we'll move to council reports and then mayor's report, and we'll open the floor to public comment. Under review correspondence, just a reminder for the candidates, if you can just make sure you do a sweep of the city for any stray campaign signs. Seems like most of them have been picked up, but there might be a few here and there. Screen might be on the prowl here.
I was pleased today. Real good job.
It's looking good, yeah. Yeah, it seemed like a lot of them got picked up pretty quick. Any other correspondence?
All is in good order with the city attorney.
Lost dogs.
Oh, good, we like that.
Poor friend.
We like good order. All right, Matt, I will turn it over to you for the update of ongoing projects.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. You all can refer to the city park update sheet that I've left at your spot there. We'll start with the town center construction progress. So we sent an email out late on Friday that Cliffy County's having a soft opening on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So if you're able to make a trip down there, please do that. Taqueria is working on their final permitting. They've got a few things they've got to get squared away with the fire marshal office and Gwinnett County Public Health. It's just their final check-ins before they can open. And then Parkside work is ongoing. They're making progress. They may not look like they are, but they are. That's what I've been told. So, Jason, anything you want to add on Parkside?
No.
And we've been working on for the last couple of months a special event policy for the Grove, the Town Green, and the park. And we mentioned at the last meeting that we bring it to you all as a first draft to look at this meeting. So I'm going to kind of take a break in the city project update and refer you to this form here, these packets here. You see all this? And so what the purpose of this policy is, and I've got Mercy and Jan and Brian have worked very hard on getting to this point, so I want to recognize them, is really to ensure that the city partners with different groups to hold events that meet a specific community need that we want to do, specific community programming, while at the same time kind of maintaining our vision, what we want to see as city events down the line. And so what we've done is we've written 4 separate documents, and we'll run through each of those documents and what they are in order to reach those goals. So the first one is the use policy. So if you kind of look at your packet, it's the first one, first page there. So this is really the policy that will govern the use of those spaces for partnered events, special partnered events, where the city would work with a partner to hold an event down there. And I'll highlight a few things. We're not going to go through every page of this. This is pretty full. So we'll certainly give you all time to look at this. But what it will show to you, it'll go everything from the timeline, from when an organization expressed interest in partnering with the city, and what we think that would look like, what they're going to offer, what they're going to bring, to a series of reviews and discussions led by our downtown development director, Jan Harris, to eventual approval of a permit, where the event can be held and the date and the location. So it will talk about, certain fee schedules, and that will be something that we'll need to talk about separately because you all have to adopt a fee schedule for the use of the space. Really, it'd be security and damage deposits, things like that. Very little administrative costs there. It, talks about everything from special event promotion, how they advertise, how the city's involved in that advertising, liability insurance, what the city is providing, what the city is not providing, everything from, large tents, what the requirements are for large tents, for bounce houses, or food and beverage vendors, arts and craft vendors, when we need to use portable toilets. Long story short, it's pretty comprehensive. I mean, it covers quite a bit of things, including up to what emergency plans these partners will need to have in the event of an emergency, and a public safety plan in case that should need to be put into effect, and what the city would require of them on file with a permit. So the other documents are the actual forms that someone will fill out. And so I'll go over those as part of the timeline. So if someone wants to partner with us, what the first next step would be and how these forms kind of fit in there. So if someone has an interest in partnering with the city on an event, we would refer them first to this use policy to make sure they understand, all the requirements. It's pretty robust. So we're looking for tenured, partners with experience on doing events like this. After they look at this and they feel like they can comply with all of these requirements and feel good about it, then we would ask them to fill out the special partnership interest form. So that's another form that you have, the second form that you have in your packet. And that gives us really basic information about their organization, their event, what they want to do, dates, that sort of thing. When they submit that application, it'll be submitted online, then it's an opportunity for Jan and this group, whoever it is, to have a dialogue and to start that conversation of what we want to see, what they want to do, to see if it's the right fit, for us. And we'll ask them to submit that special interest form, partnership form, at least 18 weeks before their event. So quite a bit of a runway for us to talk, to review what they want to do, to review their application, to get sign off, and to get them off and running. Once they, do that, then depending on if the event fits what we want or doesn't fit what we want, if it doesn't fit what we want, then that's kind of the end of the conversation. If it fits what we want, and we think it's a good partner, a good opportunity for the city, a good event, then they'll move to the actual application. That's the third form you have. That application is, I don't know, 9-10 pages, something like that. Covers quite a bit as well. And the application will need to be submitted at least 14 weeks before the event. And the reason why is, as part of the application, there'll be several departments that will review sections of it to make sure that everything is covered. So the public safety side, public safety plan, the PD will be involved in that to make sure they're aware and clear on where the event's going to be held, what's going to be going on, all that good stuff. Public Works will be involved. There's barriers that need to be set up, trash cans that need to be brought out beforehand. They have extra needs for extra trash cans, that sort of thing. So they'll have a chance to look at the application on certain sections to make sure that they're aware of everything that they need to do in preparation for the event. After all of that is reviewed by city staff and led by the review that's led by Jan, then she'll make a recommendation to the city manager to sign off on that application to approve that event. And then once we approve the event, then it's really just us working with this partner firm, partner organization to promote the event, get the event off the ground, and to get it moving. And then hold the event and hope it's a success. So that's really the 50,000 foot kind of view and process, with a lot of reading for you all to take a look at, to make sure you're comfortable with the direction and recommendation of staff on what we need to make sure we got everything covered for these events. Any questions, high-level questions at this point?
How much coffee do you take?
How much coffee? Oh, yeah, no. It might take you a little time.
Just 21 miles.
And this isn't something that we're expecting you all to approve at the next meeting, approve overnight. I mean, it's gonna take some time to look at this. We're available for questions. You know, the applications, the plan would be, right now, you have paper copies for ease of reviewing them, but we will put them online, so folks will be able to fill out all that application stuff online. It'll be fed to Jan, you know, through an email once the application's been complete. And then we'll start the review process that I've outlined before.
So would this nullify what's in place already with Briscoe Park policy? What we currently do?
For special-
To replace it?
Well, this is only for special partner events.
Partner events?
Yeah, not events that the park holds generally.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it wouldn't take, it wouldn't be like the car shows.
Right.
Or, you know, those.
okay. Or family fun day or anything like that?
No.
Not city-driven events, but.
Yeah, but organization coming and saying, hey, we want to do an event at the park.
Okay.
And we say, well, tell us about who you are and what you do. And we'll see if it's a good fit.
And it doesn't affect anything with Experience Snellville, that's all done under our subdivision.
Or SYC going forward, city. And so the town green now would potentially be available to outside, okay.
Now, stat gets
That
first
would
right
be-
refusal on that.
Right.
We would have dates that aren't already earmarked for stat events that would be available.
Jan be the primary contact for somebody going through this process?
Yes.
Okay.
So lucky.
Thank you.
Jay needs to be the gatekeeper.
And then just another point of concern, I know the lawn committee has some recommendations that may need to go into some of those considerations in terms of when things are gonna be planted and cultivating and such.
You
That
have
may
to work in
impact.
conjunction with David.
Just wanted to mention that.
We'll take the silence as everybody's ready to read.
Yeah. Just as far as events at the Grove goes, we have Santa at the Grove, December 6th, starts at 1. I think the plan is to go 1 to 3, and if we have a lot of folks that want to pose with Santa and sit with him, then I think we can go to 4 o'clock. So the next item, city business cleanup, beautification, sanitation programming. So special called work session on November 18th, which is just next Monday. We'll go over the sanitation request for proposals. Sorry, is it Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
All right, thank you.
And that's
Tuesday.
locked, that's not tentative anymore, right?
And we'll go over the recommendations the staff have for the request for proposal RFP, or sometimes they call it invitation to bid, ITB.
I beg your pardon, I couldn't hear you. Could you say that last part?
So we'll go over the RFP, the recommendations for staff for sanitation.
When you said an acronym after that, ITB.
Yeah, ITB, invitation to bid is what it's called sometimes.
That's what I
too.
didn't hear. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Let's see, nothing new to report on the mayor and council put on development and zoning guidelines, package sales implementation. Tony, anything you want to?
No, the courts pushed us off a little bit, and the other side wants to do some discovery. So it's up to the judge, so of what happens next. So they've asked him to wait a year.
I can't hear you.
There is, it's gotten pushed back from the Court of Appeals. So the other side has asked that there be some discovery done, meaning depositions. And it's the review process. It's Butch and a couple other folks that they make, not at the council level for the most part. And the court has to decide how much of this issue is questions of fact that deserve discovery. So we're just waiting for the court to give us some instruction on what they want to do as far as discovery is concerned.
Thank you.
The Briscoe Park Community Center, so the contractor will begin waterproofing the retaining wall. So there'll be a retaining wall that will separate what I'm calling the offices, the upper floor from the gym. So the gym will be lower down grade-wise and the office will be up. So they are working on waterproofing that retaining wall, and then after that is complete, then they'll backfill up against that wall there. So that's the next task. As far as the financing goes, we've got a calendar for the advertising that we need to do for the public hearing. We're still on track for council approval of the financing on the December 8th meeting. So there's nothing that you all need to do until that point. North in Wisteria, intersection improvement project. So the sewer contractor has removed the septic tank that served United Community Bank there on the corner of Wisteria and North, and they're connected to the sewer. And so all that is left now are punch list items, which are items that you're doing at the end of a project. Generally, they're minor in detail, they're cleanup items and things like that. So we'll begin compiling all of those items of things that they need to make sure they finish and do. And once they do those things, then we'll sign off on it, and that project will be complete. You probably noticed that the road contractor has poured several sections of sidewalk, has begun demoing certain sections of driveway aprons, and we'll repour those one half at a time, so there'll always be access to the businesses there. Really what we're up against now that utilities have been, that hurdle has been cleared, it's really just weather. Just needed to be warm enough to pour things. So.
Not out in the driving snow we had today.
That's right.
Wednesday
So,
should be good again.
today was cold, but it's supposed to warm up this week. It's just keep plugging along, and as weather permits, the weather allows. Nothing really to cover on the .gov crossover. Just that's still going to happen first quarter of next year. And that's it.
And was this passed out to everybody?
I think so.
The calendar, everybody's got the memo with the upcoming dates.
Are we for sure having a meeting the week of Thanksgiving, or is that still up?
We are not planning to have a meeting on the 22nd. Are you upset? If you still want to come up.
You've got a badge, you can come sit here.
So really, we'll have tonight's meeting, December the 8th, I think, is the first meeting in December, and then we'll have, we won't have that one for Christmas either. I mean, if something were to come up that we would have to do, take some kind of action on, then we'll just do a special call meeting. I had already signed this one. All right, well, that's all I have for the work session agenda, so I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second. Don't.
All in favor?
Second.
Okay.